Hello. This was a day where all of my energy left me about half an hour ago. And again, entirely my fault. I slept later than I should. But we're here. I'll put this on. Hope that's suitable volume. Hey, Amy. Welcome in. Getting on with the shading for your piece. And now I have to figure out how the hell I do flesh tone. Because, I don't do a lot of that. No. God. Yeah, as people can see, I finished the. Oh, apparently I missed some of the. Apparently I missed a tiny bit here, but I finished the line art for these two and just put on a very basic fill that just makes it easier to get to make everything nice and smooth as I go through this stage. Okay, I think I've got everything this time. Yep. Okay, lock that now. Okay. Nope. Just test the thing. Okay. Okay, let's faff around until I can find a decent shade. That might be. No. Yes, okay. So lacquer is. Let's test a few colours out here. That might be sunny. I've got too many windows for this shit. No, that's too. That's a ways off. Oh, okay. I think that one's good for lacquer. Now I just need to refine sunnies. No. Nope. The hell is that? That don't look right. No. Trying to recreate a particular... Okay, we need to... Okay, yeah. Almost that. Nope, that changed literally nothing. There we go, that's... Okay, this will be the swatches layer. And we'll put them... Why is that... Okay, to Google. So I've got a few here, but none of them seem quite as pale. No, that's... Oh, that's ugly. Oh, that's not good. That's someone selling color tone hex codes. It's like, that's not how this works. Okay, let's try that one. E9 CBVs. Okay, where is that? Huh. Let's put that there. Okay, I'm going to keep that there. And then I'm going to go something that's a little bit darker. 6, 594, I think. No, that's too pink. No, that's not even close. Oh yeah, that's... Oh, I see. I think that'll do. At least for the base colors. Honestly, I should have just made this. Yeah. God, why does that suck so bad? Mm. Like, the fill bucket does not fill the surface you select. This is at least this is a very easy stage because at this point the only thing that actually needs to stay this color is the skirt because I picked the sky blue for that. Oh god damn. Okay. I just a little bit just here. I'm aware that I'm making lacquer quite radioactive looking right now. It's, it's glowing like a salmon out living in Chernobyl. Oh yes. Yes. Yeah, stuff like the tattoos, they don't translate well at this stage. Or at least not until I get to the shading anyway. Okay. Oh yes, don't forget the very obvious face that that's no. That seems too dark tone for her actually. Let's try that one instead. Don't, that's not. Oh, there. Sounds like miracle of sound. Yes, it is. Not sure how interesting this is to watch stream, to be honest, because at this point, especially it being a new style of coloring and shading, I'm just a little bit quieter and more focused. So I do need the practice. That wins. Yeah. I'm glad I picked the many arms to be the ones to. Yeah, I'm glad I picked the many arms to be the one that I did the regular tone with, or the much more scattershot tone with. And I promise these colours will probably start to make more sense as the vast amounts of blue are filtered out. Color correction is a weird monster. Right, this is all. Yeah, right. That's the bit of muscle curving around the forearm there. Yeah, because these tones aren't actually that far apart. They just the blue just really makes it sing. don't know how much of the shading I'll be on this today as well, because yeah, new method of that too. No, no. No. Yeah, okay. Do your heart, darkness that you would. Incidentally, one of my kind of favorite parts about these pieces is getting the flats on and just kind of seeing how it looks there. Because a couple of my older pieces definitely looked better as flats than they did as full colors. Really just chickened out getting there. Okay. Okay, now we have some black, for which I am going to do this tiny shade or two lighter. Yeah, it's not exactly black, it's a very dark purple, but as recommended, it kind of works better. Especially when contrasting with the other colors. You don't really notice the purple. You perhaps notice it is a little not black, which is kind of a good thing. I think this is like one of the only songs with rap in that I just like. Oh, I've got a script to write. I have to write the Lies of P review and record that for, I guess, mid-February is the plan. Have it released the week after the original, a week after the final actual chapter of that game. It's been coming out steadily on YouTube. It's not been the best received. I probably should have done a cut down version. Oh, the blobbiness. That's that. Then down here. That should do. Yeah, that should do for the top. Do the same for Sunny. Oh shit. Just noticed I. Yeah, noticed there. This new style, it's a lot more work, but I still might end up sticking to it for the simple reason that it means I don't have to be quite as fretful about my line art. Like I can just, because the line art on this is actually pretty rough. There's a lot of holes in things that I never properly closed up. But obviously, there doesn't need to be anything more sharp. Doesn't need to be very clean if it is only temporary. And I suppose doesn't even need to be, strictly speaking, it doesn't even need to be clean if it's permanent. There are some artists who really make the kind of the rough and ready line art look really work. Mm-hmm. Uh, God, you heard the adverts, the season for streaming. One of the one of the adverts that I see a lot that pops up on my phone or something or just wherever is or when I'm watching other streamers, it's for gaming laptops and it's very and it's at this point quite amusing because like gaming laptops are useful for a very, very specific part of the population, and most gamers don't want them. Because most gamers want a good streaming, not streaming, good gaming. Most gamers want a good gaming desktop because they are just always leagues in the way uh, more effective than mobile or like mobile options. Yes, taking a little bit of shape already. Okay. And the okay, right. Her thing is also her skirt is also black. To go for a bit, but I'll be around if you need me. Oh, all right, go do your thing, whatever it may be. I too will be around a while. Steadily processing cute fox people. Oh god, right, I have those to do as well. I forgot them. The fingies. I'd say I'd been at this longer than I thought, but I realized no, I did also start late, didn't I? Oh, that's another thing. This whole section is, strictly speaking, flesh tone. So I have a plan for this. This is aviators. The ones will need a custom thing. Oh, this is going to need something custom, but it is regularly a question of what. That's... Okay, I have a plan. Requires doing a lot more before I come back to this section. Or while I do all this, then I'll get the because the hair colors are going to be an absolute nightmare. Like, imagine just having one hair color. It's not like again that it's not like I had any hand in deciding these hair colors. Well, I didn't actually. It's not like I influenced the existence of these hair colors. That goes there. Yeah. God. Skip. This is fine. Don't think that one's even in my playlist. It's just it just pops up occasionally or something. We have skip. There's vertical ribbons. May have to mess with tone on those. Under attack. Let's come out to play. Stop the first time it's on. Remember me. I'm afraid to die. To love the gun. Oh God, I want to play. I want to play Yakuza stuff and Total War actually. Been kind of itching to do a Total War campaign where I don't get stuck doing gunline tactics as the Empire. People play Skaven a lot in that game, and I never solved the food crisis. I never made it work. I was always unless I'm literally relentlessly fighting battles, which is not sustainable. Hello from almost feeling not sick. Okay, okay, you're only slightly bunged up. Don't give me anything. Don't sneeze on your screen. Yeah, Currently working on the incredibly complex clothing that Lacquer and Sunny have. It's more painful than nasty cough. Oh God. God, there was a cough I got when I was at uni. And like the cold, oh, it was a cold. The cold itself was all right, except then there was the week of cold sweats after, and then the week after that, the cough that was so bad I couldn't uh, actually walk around outside without having to pause every half a minute. It was genuinely the most debilitating cough I've ever had because cold air uh, just made my throat die. Physically hot when I get sick while simultaneously being cold enough to shiver. Um, yeah, that's how the body fights illness. That's how the body uh, that's how the body fixes problems. You feel hot because it's raising the core temperature, but you feel cold because it's simultaneously tanking your external temperature as part in the process, and it's using a lot of energy. So what a time for this song to come on. No, it doesn't mean I have to like it though. It's, I was more saying it because I don't need to, I didn't necessarily need how illnesses work explaining. I understand how the body fights off stuff like that. Yeah, it definitely isn't pleasant. I keep feeling like this is going to be the JT Machinima Prey rap. So while I like Baldur's Gate 3 character creator, a part of me does wish Larian would look into something, at least something for adjusting small details. That again is just that I think is just them because I don't remember I don't particularly remember Divinity having a very granular system either. Like they've always been a bit like that, as in not having better than Dark Tides, where the most passable face is still a 3 out of 10. It's where Dark Tide, where Dark Tide, where most people look like they've stuck their face into a hive of wasps, and the most handsome faces you can get are on the Ogrins. Yeah, that said, again, you are you are on a hive world. I don't imagine it's very good for the complexion. Like the the character creation options could definitely do to be more diverse than other than like aggressively stung by wasps. Um, but they could do with they could do with more diverse options. Yes, like the best I've managed to create is like generic hot topic. It's weird that people defend it because it's grimdark while ignoring the literal hundreds of characters who look nice. The funny thing is that's less of an argument than you think. Because sure, yes, it's not a particular argument to say because everything's terrible that people have to look awful. But hundreds of characters, like that's even compared to the billions on our planet, that's still a that's still a like less than what that's still less than 0.001%. It's like there are some Imperial Hive worlds have trillions of people. Just saying, having the option to look nice at least makes the widows who make Shrek's ugly crap are stand. Now, at the moment, the people who stand out are the ones with the funny Ogren names, like Brick. Like I like everyone who I like all of the I like Kronk and such. That's just playing Borderlands 1. Kinda. You get some other fun ones, and it's a lot easier to find them because, well, Borderlands 1 is invite co-op, uh, whereas Darktide has a hub world or hub ship, hub cap. Do they have public co-op now? Yes, but that for the newer games perhaps, but that would require me to play Borderlands 3. Like that would require me to interact with that game. No two are public. Don't remember that. Yeah, I must have just never looked in. I suppose it's I suppose it's like because I when I bought those games originally, even though they kind of work as a co-op as a multiplayer experience, I didn't really buy them for that. So I guess I never looked particularly in depth into uh the range of options. But there's the vibe of modern Marvel movies where it's almost interesting but hard carried by the action. The problem I hear with Borderlands 3 is the villains being uh absolute nothing burgers. And my nose is clogged up. I was I was not incredibly enthused by Borderlands. I'll be perfectly honest with you. It was I played two, it was fun enough. I tried to play one, I got one as part of a bundle, I think. I tried to play it, but going back to that after two was just very painful at the time. And like the humor is well, it's certainly got some attempts at it. That's when there's a chance to give them depth, but don't. Yeah, I have. It's frustrating how they made the characters from Tales of the Borderlands backsliding a bit to some weird caricatures. Ooh. Dangerous territory. That said, it's like Borderlands has always been largely composed of caricatures, and often less than stellar ones, or not very, or parodies, I guess, if we wanted to be a bit more generous to them. But then the whole raider trope that was set up at the end relied on guard to disarm and scare off people. I haven't played Tales of the Borderlands, so this is all a bit lacking in context. Okay, and the new CEO of at last straight up told Handsome Jack to fuck off. I mean, to be actually, most people do that. Like, most people tell him to do that. They just also does do what he says because yeah, with Atlas, right? The Atlas Mining Corporation. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not like Jack didn't. It was no who before was some possessing him, and before tells he was a pencil pusher who idolized him. God. I kind of wish I'd played more of the pre-sequel. Just like it was not it wasn't that fun, but I kind of wish I'd played more of that to see what came out of the whole playing as Handsome Jack thing, or rather the or rather the the playing as the doppelganger who believes that you are the real thing. God Hunter. Forgive let him burn tied up devil on top. May return sinful to the bone unholy. You technically play as his body double. You do see how he became the psychopath he is in two. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I'd want. Like that's why I kind of wish I hadn't put it down. And hey Don, you're you're here to see me shade a couple of very good looking kitsune, neither of which is actually a kitsune. Of mine. Isn't like 80% of art shading? Uh, kinda. This one's a complicated This one's a complicated. This one's coloring at the moment, but no, I'd actually say it's more like 40%. Like, there's a good chunk of it that is, for me at least, getting the line out down, so I have a very good idea of what I'm putting to paper. Because good line art solves a lot of other problems. It's not even that hard of a reach. You could see how it went that way, because his original plan would have helped Pandora, because Borderlands is extremely anti-cop. The Vault Fantasy Highs betray him and scar him because they think he's lying. And it is clear from the start that he is an absolute narcissist. Like, he is already very obviously full of himself right at the start. Ooh. You can at least tell he's trying to do good, and it takes the game constantly smashing him down for those good intentions to become a genocidal monster. Kinda. I didn't get far enough in to really start even establishing his intent. Like, I really did not get far at all. Yeah, I'm gonna take a shower and get less gross. Absolutely, I know that feeling. Feels awful if the feeling of just not being showered is it's not nice. Plum to pink gradient. Okay. $67 3147. Okay. Okay. Now I need to go around to the pinks. Pink needs to be a bit more intense. This is where the colors really start to come in. Would I we oh we forget? Oh, right, that entire thing is already. Containers. Need to double check on the plum shades. Ooh. Immediately better. Tiny bit just here. To get cycling a bit of, yeah, cycle through the various attempts until I find which one works best for this. Going to be looking into some kind of offline music hosting app as well. Nothing is worth having but Chrome on a system. Like, Chrome sucks. Chrome sucks up all your RAM. Which is why so many people shift to Firefox or, anything else. Opera has been taking off, partly thanks to thanks to that dumbass stream stunt where it hosted itself in the background of everyone who was using the browser at the time, which was, cheeky as fuck. Clever, but cheeky shit. Oh. Oh, right, that's the want. I imagine people have seen the Dragon's Dogma trailer, and, like, to me, it looks like a retread. even if they update the mechanics, it looks like a remaster of a remaster. Either way, I hope the romance is fixed in that game because, my God, the I managed to break it. I managed to break that game and end up with two wives. Like, which I must admit, faintly amusing. Faintly amusing, but it was the Baron's wife and the pawn who and the pawn who used to be the witch, or used to be the witch's apprentice or something. Like it was none of them were the people I was interested in helping in any way. Or like none of the people that I particularly committed to. Like I did want to help the Duke's wife because the situation she was in was not good. Even if she let's just say she's not a good idea to be romantically involved with because she gets ideas about people and I don't think she asks. As in, she doesn't ask the current partner. Mm. One. Feather that weird. A return. Yep, you've not really missed much. It's a long and slow process. No, that's right. That's fabric. That's that. I'm already forgetting what my own lines mean. Oh, Full. Here's a question for you because you've been playing Baldur's Gate 3, and you already said that you don't really get the new industry standard kind of thing. Has it been very buggy? Because I know a couple of people have played it and run into a not game breaking, but plenty of bugs. That's all standard. Kinda. Like I'd run into people. Heard from. I've spoken from some people who are like, yeah, there are bugs. It's fine graphically. This is okay storytelling. I don't get the. It's fun, but I don't get it. Yeah, it's it's definitely one of those things. Like I have no. I've decided I have no plans to buy it myself. I will. It is a game that I will play if someone buys it for me, but that's about it. And to be perfectly honest, I'm a little more um, the the quote unquote DLC for VTube Studio that removes the watermark is more important to me. Uh, Sometimes when I shove a certain summon, it doesn't actually move until the round ends, and sometimes NPCs will randomly prioritize one of the other party members for no reason. The latter just feels like the AI having a bit of trouble, but for conversation. Hmm, there might be a reason for that, maybe. Think it's usually because they enter the chat space first. Yeah, I think that is what decides it. Do they? Does Larian still? Do they still use the persuasion attribute or the persuasion bonus of the person who is doing the talking, or do they use the highest in the party? Guessing it's still just whoever is specifically initiating the conversation. I I just remember the dumbass situation in like Act Two of it's like Act Two of Divinity 2 when the only way to keep all of your party members with you is to make a Persuasion 5 check. Uh, is to make a Persuasion 5 check, basically meaning, and it can only be made as your PC, meaning if you didn't put Persuasion, you lose party members. You'd be annoying how I hear people are level 7 to 8 by the time you get to Balthasar, while I was level 5 and had to cheese him because you kept persuading your way out of fights. That does suck. That is the exact opposite of what the GM is meant to do, Larian. They're meant to reward creative solutions. Especially if you're going to make the game likely have to end in fights, give people XP for non-combat options. Yeah, Shadowheart does not strike me as persuasive. There is one scene that I know of where it's just almost getting everyone killed. I think it's because they only reward based on who be in the fight at the start of combat rather than all enemies in combat. That still could do with remedying. And let's see, Sunny's eyes. Lavender to pastel blue. Okay. This E6 one. E6, E6, FA. Jeez, that's a oddly sharp light. Also, it's bullshit that Balthazar summons 20 undead if he's not silenced immediately because he has alert, so I can't even surprise him. And I'm guessing you can't, I'm guessing you don't have, I'm guessing it's the moment combat starts as well. So, like, the moment there's initiative, or does it actually have to be his turn for him to do the summon? Though I imagine with alert, that big bonus to hit is gonna shaft you out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say with that +5 from alert is gonna hurt. This is a level 6 cast, so it has cloud. It's level 11. At least they actually give you access. At least it's possible for you to get that stuff eventually, but yeah. They're in this meme with how it's retooled some spells. By all means, hit me with it. Kind of want to do a solo Divinity 2 run at some point. Good luck trying to hit from range in that cloud. Yeah, that doesn't sound familiar. That sounds weird, and that sounds like a cruel and unusual punishment. Oh, no, no. Never mind. No, Cloud Kill is not. That's not changed. Cloud Kill counts as Cloud Kill causes heavy obscuring in base 5e. Cloud Kill fucks up your range in base 5e. It's not just a. That's not just a Larian thing. I just don't think I've ever seen someone use Cloud Kill. And I think heavy obscuring is disadvantage, so. It's also annoying that they're separated in large reduce. As in they're separate spells, or? Because granted, I'm kind of used to that now. That is just the Pathfinder way of doing it, but I could see them separating it because of because of the way the abilities work, but heavy obscuring the attack has to be out of the clouds. Heavily obscured, it doesn't matter if you're from, if you're shooting, like, it doesn't matter if you're in or not, it's just, are you there? It's just, are you, heavy obscuring requires either the firer or the target to be affected by it, so it's, like if you're firing from a heavily obscured area or into a heavily obscured area, you're dealing with there being a severe obstruction to your sight in the way. Baldur's Gate 3, you can't attack at range if you're in a heavily obscured area. Okay, that's a bit tougher. Yes, flame. Oh, I think I have an idea. As the undead he summons, because the arena is floating in the void of the Shadowfell, can instant kill everyone just by just shoving if they move first. Oh yes, the one of the one of the rules they allowed everyone to use. That is one of the few things that that Baldur's Gate has received praise for, specifically over the Pathfinder stuff that Owlcat did, because yeah, you can't shove in the Owlcat games, which is unfortunate. Do wish we had more combat maneuvers. Undead don't disappear when he dies because he's not even concentrating on them. I mean, they they don't normally. They just, like, undead that you let go of, as far as I remember, they just go feral. Though on the other hand, I don't remember a spell that can summon 20 of them. Anyway. But yeah, normally created undead don't vanish. They just go a bit mental. Go a bit nuts. It's getting. Oh, that's fluff as well. It's technically an item you can get, but when you're underleveled, doesn't matter either way. Yeah. Yeah, that seems like a that seems like a bit of a hole in their design, to be honest. To do something like that. Just a second. Therein has always been a rather brutal DM. They've always been brutal when it comes to fights. I do remember the Divinity fights. Well, Act 1 and Act 2 were okay. But yeah, there were some tough ones, but then, like, the moment you get to Act 3, there are just incredibly tough ones everywhere. Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 just kind of starts hard. Not going to make the joke I want to make there. That reminds me, I need to re-download No Man's Sky at some point. Maybe I'll do that as a stream in the new year, seeing what the game has turned into. Because I haven't played a version of it. If you aren't playing a Dragon fail a charisma check, you have to first fight your way through a village of goblins to reach the first major location after the friendly area. Man, this has been a long time since I just fought goblins in anything. Like, like there was the time in Lost Mines where we didn't really have any trouble against goblins, but my monk got eaten by wolves. Then the fight that followed after that had no trouble at all with goblins, other than some rough dice luck. All of those characters were cursed. All the ones I played in that game were cursed. And since then I've beaten up Summer's Cova, but that was at level like 7, and that wasn't even a fight. The GM just said, you know what, I'm not going to make you roll this stuff. If you just go in and start biting, they're not surviving. The goblins are off because there's a whole shit ton, and if you side with the grove, you have to kill a hobgoblin, goblin priestess, and a drow bard. I'm saying, God, if you fuck up an ambush. Yeah, that does sound kind of familiar. in their habits. Oh wait, that went to the ear. Because one of them instant aggroes the entire camp. One can call for help if she is not killed immediately, and the bard isn't as bad, just got to start with getting rid of the scrying eye. Which is annoying because it detects the whole area. So as you say, you have a lot of failure points. A lot of very quick and easy fail points. At least some part of that is just because of the awkwardness of translating CRPG or TTRPG into CRPG. Because obviously the like a GM, if a party mess up a stealth check and look like it's going to go real bad for them, like yes, it can just go bad, but it's not really much out of their way to have something in the wings. It's a whole lot more effort to figure that out for a CRPG because they have to program that in at the start. The extra margin of error. Hobgoblin doesn't even get a chance for reinforcements. The entire area just gets triggered from then on if they see you. Ugh. Definitely not very convincing design. To be honest, I really like the top here. Like, after that, I can kind of chill out a bit, and technically it's all optional. Technically. That's a fun word. Wait, I have to wait for that. Because that is... Yes. It's that. So, pastel blue. Stop that and go. Also, all the major encounters in Act 1. Artificer Tower with 4 stars, an Adamantine Forger, Hag, Swamp Hag, I assume, Goblin Warband, Duergar, or Dwagar as Colville likes, Mercenary Group, Myconid version, a false group of Tier Knights. That is a lot of shit. Very early on, by the sounds of it. Though, actually, Darren usually only has like 3 acts. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Oops. Also, randomly nulls. I don't know where the nulls came from. The imagination of furries. At least that's my guess. Anyway. So Will, despite being contracted with the devil, seems wholly ignorant on the difference between a devil and a demon, and assumes Karlach was working with them pre-meeting. Good. Okay, so we have. I see. So Will is played by one of my by one of my Sunday group who consistently gets demon and devil wrong, which is awkward given the party is working with uh, a devil, currently a drowning devil. No more nothingness, no more emptiness. Thoughts of this to bring me down again. Nothingness, no more emptiness. No more thoughts of this to bring me down again. All your sins. Okay, does this work? Good, that works. And tomorrow. And whoever designs some of these persuasions is borderline evil, given how many end with the target getting a fate worse than death. Oh, okay, so they get the Dishonored treatment. Okay, that's right. That's what we're looking for. Dishonored is quite funny as for having kind of been one of the leaders for that style of design. Let's make this sheer. Gradual gradient is not enough. Okay, now I can hopefully try and do things the way I was hoping to. From have from having a devil kill his pet, his followers, and then himself, to convincing a group of people to bravely Sharka's land that he liked. I remember you mentioned, yeah, you talked about that last one, I think. But like, I think you've forgotten how cruel you could be in Dishonored, such as I don't know, getting a couple of getting the getting two people's tongues cut out and then sent to work in their own mines. As one good example. The scarring the overseer with his own brand of exile. I remember there was one person who, like, Dishonored 2 has the worst one, I think. The where you give a where you give the genius EST until he completely loses the ability to do anything. That completely loses all of his intellect. Yes, but at least they're also all bastards anyway. Sure enough, there. Okay, there we go. get back to there. To there. First thing these guys do is join a cult that is actively brainwashing with tadpoles. So I'm trying to find good lavender shades. Let's try that one. VoD. That's a much stronger shade. It's better. Someone at least gives a reason to be cruel again how personal things are for Corvo. On the other hand, it's not like it's not like cruelty usually needs a reason. Yeah, but when you're expected to be a good guy. Honestly, I think games struggle with their I think a lot of games struggle with their evil because it's an odd because they often try and make um especially these days there's often a habit of like being good is easier. The result thing is basically John Wick, but his daughter is kidnapped, the love of his life is murdered, and he's framed to his face. To the face. True, true. So the weirdest experience in Dishonored for me, incidentally, was Death of the Outsider, the DLC, because because Death of the Outsider straight up there's no alignment system. It's entirely approach how you want to, which makes it really weird if you're still like very much used to playing things one particular like the non-lethal way. Um, like the non-lethal, yeah, playing the non-lethal way, which it puts you in the very odd place because there are a couple of quests that are specific, like side quests that are specifically you're gonna have to kill these. I thought it affected the ending. No, no, the death. It affects the ending in Dishonored 1 and Dishonored 2, but Death of the Outsider has no moral change on the ending. The only thing that affects the ending is if you go into a certain area to find out what the Mark of the Outsider means. Because you learn a bit about the outsiders. You learn about the outsider in the name and such. Like what the changes to the ending are is a very binary system. So the canon ending is that he gets turned into a human. I mean, are we ever going to see that setting again? I hope not. That said, given this lawman doesn't deserve to be vilified, yeah, that Bethesda or Arcane will bring it back unless they want a new story entirely. See, that's the thing. I would agree with you on hoping that that's the ending they give, but for my part, it's mainly because I think at that point, at the point, at the point the setting is at, um, the the void being set free of its control. Yeah, the void being set free of its control and such. That is a good situation for it. For a following story, because you get to just put void power back into the world. And like, because that's, I think, the only real next step they have for that place to keep it interesting would be to explore the results of the void no longer having a master. Would be interesting to play an overseer one day works out the mark. Well, that's the thing. They can't. The mark of the outsider is the name of the outsider. Without the outsider in the void, without the outsider there as the control, that mark does not mean anything. So there's it's like that's my point. The entire it changes the system. It changes the dynamic the world has with this power, because the void still exists, but who benefits from it is now no longer a thing. I assume there'll be a new mark there, but I also doubt anyone will actually be aware the outsider is no longer aground. That's true, except the few people who had the mark and such. But it's still it's still kind of my point still is relevant, because I wouldn't want there to be a new mark. That would just be kind of cheapening the whole thing. When these things change, they need to be shaken up, not just kind of tweaked slightly. That does not lead to a satisfying sequel. That leads to a sequel that is just the same as the first two in terms of its narrative. You probably would need some kind of indicator, since the mark did glow and you did stuff with it. Something, but it could be as simple as people not having visible indicators until void power manifests. Like, say someone gets imbued with it, but it's something like go for the hell, use the kineticist stuff, um like their body changes. They get fissures of fire on their skin or something, or like phantom winds surround them when they use their powers, that kind of stuff. And it's not a deliberate choice depending on how they use it. It just happens. Part of me does hope we get more powers that are less stealth oriented. You're you're saying this like there's a sequel. There isn't, and there's not gonna be. But it's kind of necessary to have those stealth powers with how they design stealth. New Blade game. Yeah. One of those games that's just passed under my radar. The Game Awards, they announced Arcane Lyons' work on a Marvel game following the Daywalker Blade in France. God. Oh, good luck to them. Yes. Story. Power and the glory was for surrounds. God, Power Metal is so dumb. This song is about nuclear submarines in space. Nothing else at least means that if they outrushed it, we'll have some neat stealth mechanics. Because Blade is one of those characters who isn't just really good at fighting. It'll depend. Really neat stealth mechanics. It can, there are certain types of stealth mechanic that again just kind of suck ass. Half vampire, so he does have the same powers as the turns. Yeah, you'll be able to do some. You'll be able to do some neat tricks with that at least. It is time to take a stand. Longer will not suck thracks and slave a range of land. Engage the nuclear force. Set our course. Marvel vampires are quite deadly since they believe they also affect the soul, and if Spider-Man had to deal with a family of them that threaten the multiverse. I mean, strictly speaking, that's conventional vampires. Like, the conventional vampire is a curse upon the soul. And, like, and it wasn't that they drank blood because of blood, it's because it was life force. So that makes sense. Then yeah, hopefully it'll be good. Yeah. That said, like vampire lore is one of those weird ones that kind of goes in a lot of directions. Like like the original vampires were basically just bog zombies. I thank Bram Stoker for updating them. Someone has to. I won't. I don't care about vampires that much. I have no particular, uh, have no special gripe with them. I just find them a bit overused. We're going to be a lot of fun if it's good at all. Again, it is very, very, very easy to fuck up. Good stealth mechanics. There is there aren't many ways to actually do stealth well. And like even my favorite games for stealth, the Deus Ex series, or at least the games I've spent the most time in doing stealth, like even those aren't good at stealth. If I'm totally honest about it. Those games are no. Still find it hilarious that at one point an X-Man whose whole thing was making like became absolute horrible pain that. And that just okay, so my mind just went entirely to somewhere else random. I just went on a bit of a journey mentally all the way across to the monstrous regiment of Terry Pratchett's Discworld. The vampire who was because how the way vampires solved their situation by essentially changing their addiction. And there was the one in the monstrous regiment had shifted onto coffee, but they meet a vampire who's become a photographer, and and his thing, the reason he's like it, and his thing, he's actually made light his obsession. So every time he takes a picture, man blows up. That dude explodes into ash, but he always carries a vial of blood on him, so he regenerates from that. It is, of course, played for humor. The vampire of the regiment does end up running out of coffee and like goes into withdrawal for a while, and is the more dangerous feral vampire symptoms are starting to come back, and he's moments from turning when I think a group of helpful fairies drop a bag of coffee beans out of the sky onto his head. Can't remember the exact. I think it was some like little dragonfly riders, and it's like it knocks him out cold at the time, and then he spends the next day or so just sucking on the bag. It's again quite a sentence. Right, there's that. Oh, forget this little section here. Modern day vampires could really easily transition to being chill about needing blood, given blood banks exist. Yeah, um, I mean, there is straight up a dude who drinks a cup of blood every day and believes that he is a vampire. That's not that probably doesn't surprise you. There's strange people everywhere. But yeah, The Monstrous Regiment is a great book. Very fun. X-Men Vampire actually makes basically fireworks. Okay, so it's a little bit it's a little bit less funny because there are easier outs for that. But at least it doesn't mean at least it doesn't mean the power is rendered totally useless by being a vampire. And I hope Dark and Darker does well. Kind of crazy to have a game that's basically AD&D, or I think proper like first edition back when money was XP. Apparently, well, vampires are mega diverse. I mean, of course they are. They can't commit to anything. Welcome back, Amy. Fall has been helpfully keeping me company while I muddle through figuring out color palettes. Standard kit and also radioactive blood. No, it's Marvel. It very quickly loses my interest given how Marvel it all is. Away, away. I used to stuck to some comics myself. Don't need to gush about that Gwenpool and you Loki again. I haven't seen Loki season 2, but I did watch season 1. Yeah, I did like that. I liked that until they dropped the idiot ball. Until they both started scrambling for the idiot ball at the end. When they suddenly very much contrived the reason there was no possible resolution. Twitch kept pausing. What happened? I was mentioning end of Loki season 1. How they really had to contrive the reason for there not to be a a peaceful solution, like very forced. But no, Who is watching, who isn't, who wants spoils, and who doesn't? God, I should do a Hollow Knight stream because apparently that brings people out of the woodwork who want to tell you about the lore. Um, oh, Amy, little thing for you, little thing for you. Um, so because Sunny's wings have, since you said have Sunny's wings, glide between the two gradients of the hair, the lavender and pastel blue. I've got the lavender and the pastel blue on, but there's also these kind of middle veins, and I'm thinking of doing what I've done here and making them the same plum as one of Lacquer's primary hair colors, just to kind of bridge the gap a little in their aesthetics. Just let me know if you like, and I'm currently going on with that. Just let me know if you want me to not do that. Like that. Yeah, it's not a big thing. You can only see it in like a couple of parts, but it also helps because over here the wings and the tail colors are going to merge until I get to shading quite a bit. So it also helps kind of break up the colors that we already have. And even if Sunny is sticking to the lighter pastel goth tones, I figured having just a little bit of a bridge between their aesthetics would be good. And I don't think I'm seeing any issues on mine. Let me just quickly double check OBS. Oh dear. Yeah, there's been a few dropped frames somewhere. Twitch has been having some troubles today. So, Fool, it might not be on your end. It might be on. I think it might be a Twitch issue. So, Dandy was having. I had a few odd moments while watching a Dandy Floss stream earlier. Cry there, mercy. Oh, is it just literally just the pause is happening? As in, you can then unpause it? I don't know. But yeah, that is weird. Yeah, no, I've been having trouble with. I was having trouble with mine earlier, and mine was a controls issue as well. It wouldn't let me if I tabbed away from a stream and came back, it wouldn't let me press any buttons in the player. I had to I had to detach the window, move it around, connect it back up, and then it would let me. Marvel movies are a bit too keen with flanderizing characters and also killing off interesting things. That's entertainment by committee. And I think it's like the Will Wheaton style of comedy as well. I think. I think that's the name for it. I think that was the name. It was Will Wheaton. Can't remember. Tomes. Send turn this world to catacombs. Plus, all the years of Kang build-up has now become moot as they scrapped his everything because he did something heinous. Oh, the actor. Right. Oh, here's a fun bit of trivia. Um, so um, so my brother is involved with the movie industry, and um, when the first Avengers came out, obviously before Thanos got directly involved, but there was that very brief teaser of him at the end. My brother didn't know of Thanos, so he thought that the thing they were teasing there was Red Hulk. Um, Not the it's blue. No, the teaser at the end, at least on some screens, did make him kind of like did put him this did make the lighting seem like it could have been red. Did the Bulls to make anything good for the Hulk since the Avengers? I mean, the whole thing is, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm talking about the end of the first Avengers when there was just that teaser right at the end of him grinning in response to the invasion failing. Yeah, the teaser at the end there was and to be honest, like I hadn't heard of Red Hulk at the time, and I was confused. It's like I don't know. I feel like Hulk isn't going to get. I didn't feel like the villain was going to be a Hulk villain. Part of me does wish they just made Thanos just evil because I think that him and he made him an idiot. Um, I don't know if it made him an idiot. More like he was already called the Mad Titan. They should have probably mentioned that in the thing, but he was already like he was all like he had some clever people and half decent and a couple of like clever technological ideas, but he was always meant to be a madman. Like people took his there was a lot of admit like lack of understanding of his characterization in the films. A lot of people took the weird kind of seesawing of what he was doing in scenes as bad characterization. But for me, I just like no this he is known as the Mad Titan. What do you expect? He is mercurial and he talks like his plan. His whole mission was trying to save everything by murdering half of everything, then tortured his daughter. Again, he's a mad bastard. It's very like he very visibly like had some incredibly warped ideas um about family and connections, and he thought he thought this was a good idea, but it didn't mean it was. He didn't Just because he said it was a good idea didn't mean he had to. Had to gloss over the fact that he's canonically a freak of nature from its home world. I think, yeah, I remember that. Just a weirdo there. That's what happens when you insult the nerds. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like he didn't have his plan never had to be a good one in the long run. He just had to treat it as such, and he did. Let's turn off you. Bring you in. I need you down to that size again. Keep it like that. Okay, these skin colors are coming back up. Thor became a jerk. He shouldn't have stayed one. I mixed on my actual feelings about it though. Because I agree with OSP in that it was good that they didn't just montage him back up to fitness right after, but yeah, they still mismanaged it a chunk. Oh wait, wrong thing. That's that. Okay, that's there. Oh shit! Right, I need to. Oh, this. Don't like how the movies keep claiming they want to be the main universe. Probably because of the success they've had. Like even if comics have become less of a nerd thing recently, movies still kind of hold the sway as for general population. It gives them a certain reach. So then proceed to do stuff that contradicts the comics big time without much reason. That's a Marvel thing. That is a large established comic thing in general, or large established plots universe thing in general. And funnily enough, it's what led to the multiverse in the first place, and then of course the Crisis on Infinite Earths and that for DC. Like the multiverse happens because a given author wants to do a thing their way. some inconsistencies in comics, like how the Infinity Stones only work in the home universe, so Infinity Ultron would have been impossible. I do not quite follow the logic. Come on. Also, the girl who can help universes should have gotten her a movie to actually explain stuff about how the multiverse works, why some stuff is constant while others are specific to one universe. I think a lot of that stuff, while I agree, to be clear, I agree with you that there is more to this. I do not think they would have had enough of an audience to do that. Like, the problem that I often find with movies is that they do not have enough they do not have enough time to tell the plot they want to and make it feel satisfying. And except in the case of already very small plots. Like a lot of movies should be series instead. But there's also the factor that there's just so much more that needs to be explained. But there's also the factor that you need an audience for these things, and I do not think a particular one like a particular one acting on its own would have gone that well. Like how they just made Scarlett Witch a villain again after her show. That was yeah, yeah. I have nothing to say. That was just a bad idea. So they made the Illuminati mad stupid in the Illuminati. I assume you mean the Illuminati. But yes, I know the ones you mean. The Illuminati is the is the sexy spin-off. Or you, if that was your spelling, you just had to have fewer letters. That is quite amusing, though. But yes, it was just yeah. I'm aware of what they made, but the dumb stuff they did with them as well. I remember OSP being like, someone did point out to me, well, Marvel has a lighter tone than DC usually. The comics were also simultaneously way more pessimistic in the mention during the Convergence event. The thing that I um the thing that I think that is kind of interesting is what one person said um about the Illuminati situation was they reckon they reckon that the Illuminati were dumbasses because they were tired of people clamoring for the Reed Richards cameo. I don't necessarily I don't necessarily think that was what happened, but I think it would be funny. The way during the event in which the multiverse was actively collapsing, with each Earth being the impact point of two universes, it devised a way to save their own at the cost of wiping others. And when the store-brand Justice League learns about it, they're disappointed that people who align with good would do something so heinous instead of looking for another solution. I mean, I don't know what they expect them to do, to be honest. It's not as they are. It's not as though this kind of situation gives you many good options. So they only used it a couple of times, and it's genuinely infinite, so it's inevitable they would eventually stop anyway. The difference is they're now murderers. Yeah, I don't know about that justification. I see the point that yes, it's still. Oh shit. The hell? Oh, that's that. Okay, that's damn background shit. Okay. And granted, Doom and Reed Richards do devise a way to escape on an arc for like an entire world. I don't know. It still seems like I'm doing kind of weird virtue signaling stuff. Like, like it's fine if you're one of the survivors, but in that kind of situation, there's a lot of people who don't survive, and don't underestimate the guy whose title is Scientist Supreme. I don't know. There's accounts of other Reed Richards across the multiverse. I don't know. As soon as a scientist starts calling themselves the Scientist Supreme, I start questioning. Like, I don't know. Scientist Supreme sounds like it's getting very close to Grand Wizard. What I like Sorcerer Supreme, but also Vad Mantic was vast enough that he quite literally only really listens to himself. I'm not even talking about the ego. I'm just talking about anyone who calls themselves Supreme something definitely starts going like wizard. And while I have no particular issue with wizards, I don't think a scientist should be calling himself something that's more equated with magic. Then that's purely on Marvel. Yes, I know it is. That's Doctor Doom has some very interesting characterizations, to be honest, because like he does actually a lot of the time he does have that focus of saving humanity. It's just he also has an ego the size of the multiverse. Like I remember seeing a bit of the one where like they end up finding a universe where all of the where literally everyone, all of the heroes and such, are zombies that are going to come through and devour everyone. As far as everyone is aware, it's about to be Reed who sacrifices himself. At which point, Doom swaps places with him. Like, yeah, he wants to conquer the world and truly believes he can improve it with proof. He also made an effort to, when Miss Marvel was at a feast, make sure she had halal food so you wouldn't have to worry about it. That's a very particular one. I don't know. Halal is an entire thing. I very briefly aside, but I don't like I don't like the stuff behind halal because that is quite that is often needless harm to or needless pain to animals. Yeah, no, no, over here. It says a lot when all of his efforts are extremely small and precise rather than causing any wars. Yeah, that's fair. Ethical ethical concerns aside, Doom does have an interesting character. Not simple villainy. Complex and confusing villainy. That looks actually really nice. God, I still have a lot to go. What else we got for what's the scarf? Bubblegum pink. Oh God, here we go. At least this will be done this week, though. No, that's too That's too popping, I think. No, that's sake. 48A5. FF48A5. That's worse. FF77BC. Okay, this is going. That's there. Let's start with that. Pop that there. I think that'll work. Bubblegum pink is one of those cards that's really hard to do well. I will endeavour to do so. I do kind of I do kind of hope that the dumbassery of the Illuminati in Multiverse of Madness was just as a please stop asking us about the Reed Richards thing. We say would have been a bad decision, and I don't believe that's what they actually why they actually did it. I think they just kind of I think the movie was just kind of a naff movie, but I think well, it's just someone that doesn't want Fantastic Four or X-Men. I mean, it's also a licensing issue, isn't it? For used to be. Are they now acquired or something? Oh, they just have the rights to them now. Okay. Oh, they bought. Okay. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. It's Disney. It buys everything. Uh, okay, Amy, I do just have to take a moment to say that I do very much approve of the color decisions that you made for lacquer. They go very well together. Play a little bit of playing with it to find the right shades of a given thing. Granted, the X-Men are very poorly thought out metaphor. It's yeah, I mean they are they are archetypal fantasy racism. So yeah, this is going well. Yeah, this it does look like that this piece will be done this week, which is good. 2 weeks for 2 characters. At my current pace, I think that's not bad. Small, they're supposedly to represent minority fighting for equality, with the X-Men going, I'm like, yeah, well, make need to win as far as what my yes, literally fantasy racism. They're they are being used as an allegory for the conflicts of fantasy, the for the conflicts inherent in racism, discrimination, racial prejudice, all that kind of stuff, and it and they are archetypal fantasy racism because the mutants of X-Men are literally physically different, which complicates it because obviously real world racism, it's being illogical. Um, but with like fancy stuff, there is genuine reason to worry about the person who can make knives pop out their hands. It's like it requires different considerations. Luckily, they're literally what will come when humanity dies out, which is why the Sentinels were a problem because it's under that everyone has dormant mutant genes. Okay, I didn't know that bit. That's new to me. So, oh, bloody, that's why. It is also vaguely amusing to me that uh, that everyone that it is the mutant genes. Like all genes are mutations. That's how genetics works. Of course, like of course, if you design something that's going to go hunting for the mutant genes, you're going to get everyone because like genetics are changes, then any of those can come about. And they live in a universe where multiple pantheons exist, people can get out some freaks accident, and aliens just exist. Aliens. Such is such a thing even possible? It falls apart when given thought, yes. The metaphor falls apart immediately for the same reason that people didn't think Bright was very impressive, on top of being a pretty naff plot. What's the wrong one? To go again, see you another time, keep up the good work. Yeah, I'm going to try and finish out I'm going to be trying to finish out the colours before I stop, because I'm most of the way there now. Yeah. Thanks for sticking around as you were able to. See you another time. Hopefully see you tomorrow for Ori. The pink, right? I never picked. Into your eyes. Okay, that's worked. Oh, now I need this. God, those are some wildly different styles. It is proper light and dark style over here. Powers got weird over time. Cyclops doesn't actually shoot lasers, he shoots kinetic energy from a portal to a dimension of pure kinetic force. There's also where his eyes are. What the fuck? I am the lady of Fey bullshit, and that is some bullshit. Like, what? It's That's so many extra pointless steps. Oh my god, that is something incredible. That's honestly kind of, oh my god. Actually, you know what? I can just go 100%, color it fully down there. Yeah, it's just unbelievably. One game where one of the playable characters got density manipulation for his own body that basically equates to creating and destroying more carbon at will. Ah, so the thickness power. I'll be able to do that soon. And the upgraded magneto's pan, if you really want to do, you could fuck up the planet by controlling the magnetosphere around the planet. That's at least a more comprehensible development. There are there are much worse there are much worse ideas than that. Like that's like Magnet Guy controls even like greater magnetic fields is at least uh it's at least that kind of works as opposed to my eyes are in the fourth dimension. The radiation they can't turn off. I think I know. Again, that's another one I've heard of. That said, I also remember Red Star, the DC one. I think. Yes, that was DC because that was Teen Titans. give it... Let's go with the strong blue. Oh, have you seen that? I think it's like a Tumblr argument of someone pointing out how Storm's reasoning is kind of flawed when it comes to the whole "we don't need fixing," telling Rogue, the one who kills people by touching them. I have a vague memory. It's like essentially, hey, they have a cure. They can fix us. Says Danny Chainsaw for Hands. We don't need. There's nothing to fix. We don't need fixing. Says Johnny Five Dicks. Is the summary of the that's the summary of the argument. That's like, yeah, sure, Storm, you don't need fixing because you have like actual control of your powers. You don't cause tornadoes wherever you go. Not everyone has the luxury. Infuriating, they killed off the guy whose whole thing is he literally adapts to everything. Oh god, yeah, he was good. He was interesting. Darwin, I think they call him. Because theory of evolution. He was that was cool. Yeah, Nearing Horses, the black guy dies first trope. Even though in comics his power is so busted he adapts to hell by becoming Other Death. Yeah, like and all and all that he and the thing they kill him off with is one of Havoc's blasts. Like that's not enough. Surely. Does power decide the best way to adapt to Hulk was to not be within range? Uh, that one kind of works because that's just how you deal with the Hulk in general. You go the other way. You leave. You just don't. Like that is a genuine way to just to avoid the Hulk problem. Don't be near it. Okay, that should be good for that. Given that Hulk can outfight literally everyone, I think the only one that he hasn't like definitely outfought is the one below. And like there's been a conflict with him where he managed to create a thunder wave which dispersed the cloud manifesting the one below, but he's never actually faced him properly. It's like having the guy whose whole thing is he is truly immortal, die from a giant rock. And those damn immortal killing rocks. The one below is an aspect of the one above all, which is God. That's not really stopped things like Marvel and DC and such dealing with those things. So I wouldn't say just because like it's God is an argument, because they've dealt with stuff like that before, but it's more like the one below. I think the one below is the one who I think at this point Canonically is the one who's giving Hulk his power. Like he's the reason that Hulk is Hulk, or who caused the rage and such. Okay, let's get that and that. That was a previous continuity. Look, I do not keep up with this stuff, so no surprise that my knowledge is behind. Oh, I know what to do. This stage, I think Hulk is more a representation of Bruce's trauma from growing up in an abusive household. Weirdly, Hulk's whole deal is a really great representation for DID. Which is quite an impressive thing, to be honest, for them to get something right. Go to here. Jekyll and Hyde's interpretations have not done the disorder any favors. Yeah, especially given that ultimately Jekyll and Hyde wasn't that. It's kind of bit of another thing going on. Jekyll was just secretly a dick, yeah. Just, using chemicals to provide himself with a usable public persona. Dude microdosing to live a normal, or macrodosing to live a normal life. Okay. All hands accounted for, those there. Still not sure about the shoes. Lavender lips, so we'll be using this. Then we darken it. It's breaking down again. What's it this time? Do you mean Twitch? Some posts aren't showing up proper. Oh, lovely. He's probably not paid the bill again. This is obviously a great time to mention that I am on Mastodon and Blue Sky, and I have codes for Blue Sky for anyone who takes an interest. Just waiting for someone to get fed up and get a news report announcing his death. It would vastly simplify a lot of things, but that is as far as I'm going to take that line of thought. this color. Need that. A bit larger. Nothing else, at least they could re-establish the moderation, keeping an eye out for the phobic kind of posts. Yeah. Man, that's just put me in mind of the Joe Cat situation again. Okay, I need to find a particular color. That needs tweaking. That should do. Nope. Oh, wait. No. Jeez, okay. This again. Did the movies ever explain what a nexus is? Don't think so. I do not have. If they did, I do not have memory of it. Though it's not as though, as ever, it's not as though my memory is going to be the best for it. They're basically stuff that is specific to a universe like it only exists in that. So, a variable, the opposite of a constant. Honestly, I thought Doctor Strange would have explained that since the guy with the star poles is explicitly a Nexus. Might have done? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Might have done. Again, I don't really pay close attention to these things. It's a shame that Marvel is suddenly having to flounder since they had to cancel the next big event with Kane the Conqueror. I'm. I don't know why they couldn't just replace the actor. For some reason, I think the actors are what make the character, even though Hulk has gone through three. I mean, yeah, that's the biggest obvious one. Like yes, a particular actor might be very good for a character. They might fit it very well. But yeah, like as they say, as you say, Hulk has gone through a few already, and it's already like going just from his initial appearance or the his most recent appearance to Avengers was two because it was can't remember who it was before, but then it jumped to Mark Ruffalo, who did a really good job of Doctor Banner. It's a very silly thing. shoes are going to be the same in the end. Now, the movie industry has ideas. Yeah. To give these boots. Curtain call. Shit. Took my eyes off the piece for a second. Just trailed off there. Okay. Ooh. Lock that. Okay. No tattoos on her, no eyeliner. There and there. Give her some striking eyes there. Now over to Sunny, who has a few things to work on. First of all, black eyeliner. And the style is see if this works. No. Okay. Ah. Okay. Are we looking? Okay, some of these are less impressive than others right now. Double check a couple things. Okay. I am, given that I've already overrun, I'm going to send this over to Pin. Jesus Christ. Pin's current form is going a bit nuts right now, so yeah. Damn, song coming to an end. They are doing, by the looks of it, Lethal Company emotes. God, I do not have words to describe what is going on over there right now. Yeah. We've gotten a lot of colors done for these guys. Mostly done, just got a few tweaks to do, and then it'll be onto the shading, which shouldn't actually be too bad for these two. So get the tones figured out, you know. I overran by about an hour, and I have other things I need to be doing, so thanks to everyone who came by. Be more Ori tomorrow. It will some kind of art on Friday. Then we'll see what the week after Christmas is like. Until spring rises on another wonderful day.